Welcome to this week's episode of In-Depth Outdoors.
Fish! That's a giant!
With James Holst and the rest of the IDO fishing team. On the water in search of the hottest bites.
Got him! Yeah! This is so much fun.
This is In-Depth Outdoors.
For those that tune into the shows regularly, you probably know that there's a lot more to In-Depth Outdoors than just our TV show. There's a whole website, an online community behind the TV show, made up of hundreds of thousands of anglers from across the Midwest. And one of the great things that we make a point of doing every year is to fish with as many of these members as possible. And we organize events that pull members together where guys like myself, Joel Nelson, and other members of our pro staff will attend, meet as many of those members as we can, get to know each other, spend some great time on the water, and share fishing information. And that's what this show is really all about. We're going to be fishing today with Billy Dougherty, Rainy Lake Houseboats. Rainy Lake, northern Minnesota, one of my absolute favorite destinations. And because this body of water is so diverse and so large, it's a perfect location for us to hold one of those get-togethers. So this is an open invitation to anybody watching the show, anybody that's ever wanted to get to meet any of the guys that you see out here filming these shows with In-Depth Outdoors. We're holding 2 events here on Rainy Lake in 2012. One late May, early June, one late August, where anybody that wants to come fish Rainy Lake can do so and come fish it with members of the In-Depth Outdoors pro staff. The real cool thing is Rainy Lake Houseboats has offered an incredible pricing package to attend this event. So how it works is we get a big group of guys, load them onto houseboats, we stream off down Rainy Lake down to the east end where we set up a base camp where everybody gets to hang out, mingle. We go out and fish, and at the end of the day, we come back and share fishing information. It is absolutely one of the best ways to get to know this lake and, of course, get to know anglers with a very similar set of interests. So if you're interested in attending one of these In-Depth Outdoors get-togethers, visit us at idofishing.com, where you'll find a link right on our homepage that talks about the Rainy Lake get-together for 2012. Now, if the dates for those 2 events don't work, of course, you can always come to Rainy Lake Houseboats at any time of the year and get out on this great body of water, do it in class, do it in style, on what amounts to a floating hotel room that you take with you to experience the sights, the sounds, the majesty of Voyageurs National Park here on Rainy Lake. So if you're planning a summer vacation with family, friends, or buddies, make sure you check out what Rainy Lake Houseboats has to offer here on Rainy Lake. The fishing experience is absolutely magical. The size, quantity, quality of the fish, basically unparalleled here in Minnesota, and it is the trip that I look forward to most annually when I'm setting my calendar for the year. So stick around, you will enjoy the show. I'm real excited to be here today because Rainy Lake is notorious for having a fantastic shallow water walleye and pike bite starting about the middle of May and lasting most of June. And what I love about that bite is we get to be real aggressive. These fish are up shallow, they're aggressive, they're feeding. It's going to be a great day on the water. What we have here?
Our breakfast.
You brought breakfast.
Breakfast underway on Rainy Lake.
You're a keeper.
There we go.
Hop aboard, sir. No. Right there's good enough. Yeah. Wish us luck. Labs are good luck, right?
Absolutely.
All right, well, down the lake we go. So where are we headed? We gonna head east?
Definitely.
Thanks for having me today.
Hey.
I'm excited.
You bet.
Got him. Every time I catch one of these shallow fish, Billy, it just gets a guy going.
Yeah, look at that. Does he have nice shoulders on him?
Yes, he does. Go. Rainy Lake Gold. You know, and I've been up here on a house trip myself, a houseboat trip. That was last summer. You know, no fibbing, no kidding. One of the best vacations I've ever had. Brought my girlfriend with last year, Billy. It was really sad to leave. You know, and I bring that up because 3-4 days of catching these shallow water fish like this, You can show up with all the problems in the world, you're going home with none. Let that fish go. What a deal. You know, all these fish are coming from that 2, 3, 4, 5 foot of water. Make the cast, the jig hardly starts to settle, you get the bail closed and the fish is on. You know, a lot of guys are intimidated by pitching these jigs shallow, but when they're that aggressive, you know, there's not a lot to it.
Right. You know, one of the neat things about the houseboat, the person at home doesn't understand. We've ran up to like 20 miles today.
Oh.
When you're the houseboat, you're here, and you're here for the duration. You get all the quality fishing time, and you're immersed in, I don't know, it's one of the prettiest nature areas I've ever been in, and it's yours.
That's one of the things that was so fun for me, not having to, you know, put the boat back in the water every day, leave the hotel, you know, get back out on the water, drive that 20 miles. We were literally casting off the back of the houseboat, waiting for the eggs to finish in the morning, got the bellies full, and off we went. But not everybody had to do the same thing.
That's the beauty of it. You know, you're not missing out if you sit back and miss a session, or, you know, we'll see you in 2 hours, and then you get to make another decision.
Absolutely. Well, how many campsites in a bay like this? You know, it's so scenic. We've seen one other boat on the horizon today, but how many campsites in a big bay like this would they put in here?
Well, throughout, I don't know the exact number in the system, but they have separate sites for tenters and separate sites for houseboats. They're all designed so you do not have to have views of other people.
Gotcha.
You know, you may see somebody fishing, but I mean, it's pretty tough to get a more wilderness vacation than this, out of nice boats, houseboats, all the comforts of home. I always say, what's Voyageurs National Park like in Rainy Lake? I said, it's just like the Boundary Waters, except it's got mattresses and motors.
There you go.
Hello, I'm Dave Markworth. I'd like to introduce you to the Skeeter Boat Center in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. At the Skeeter Boat Center, we carry the Midwest's largest selection of Skeeter fishing boats, all at prices you can afford. And we offer test drives on most models in stock. Our highly trained staff will provide you the personalized service that you deserve. So check us out at SkeeterBoatCenter.com, where our goal is to help you have fun fishing.
Another long, cold winter got you down? Plan your next summer vacation with Rainy Lake Houseboats today and watch those winter blues fade away. Experience beautiful Rainy Lake in Voyageurs National Park in northern Minnesota from the deck of one of our spacious houseboats. Recharge while touring the lake or fishing for trophy walleye and smallmouth bass. You can get away from it all without giving up the comforts of home. Call us today at 1-800-554-9188 or visit us online at RainyLakeHouseboats.com.
I don't know.
I probably shouldn't have thrown over the top of you,
Oh,
huh?
I would. I'd catch whatever swimming underneath this fish. You know, they're getting rid of whatever's in their belly, and other fish follow to eat it. Got a little weight.
That was a pretty good swirl I saw there, Bill.
Yeah.
Pike.
Glad I had a hold of the... Oh, no. Look at this walleye.
Woo! You
This
know what?
is
That's
a
the
sow.
big boy net there, Bill.
That's a sow. And that took that bait with a little authority.
Nice. That is just a beautiful walleye, Billy.
That's a dandy, and James, there is absolutely nothing more fun than fishing points on Rainy Lake. See you, girl. Down on the lee end of the point, that's kind of not in the textbook.
No. You know, we don't have a real hard wind to concentrate these fish on one side or the other.
No, Look at this.
Another giant?
Yeah, maybe it's right close to the same size. I mean, are these nice walleyes or what? Look at that. All from the back door of your Rainy Lake houseboat. Oh, he's not ready.
He's not. Come here, buddy.
There we go.
There we are for you.
Jeez.
Not bad for 5 minutes.
No. Oh, he ate that good. You know, I had said maybe we were going to pull into that Pike Bay on the way out of the crappie area, and I saw that little breeze, and I thought, it's time to go jerking.
Actually, what you said was, that's enough breeze.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Nice fish. Go back, grow a little more.
Well, I know you've been fishing Rainy Lake for a long time, and I'm sure you've seen quite the evolution of the fishery and, of course, how people fish this body of water. Give us an idea how you've seen things change over the course of, your career fishing Rainy Lake.
The single biggest thing in the fishing industry that's happened, and for the consumer, is the invention of the mapping chip.
Sure.
You can travel anywhere. It's going to show you the rocks. I mean, you got to slow down. They're generally dead on, and it allows you to go. It leaves a track. You can follow yourself home. It shows tables on reefs. Unbelievable. I used to run around out here with a 3.5 foot long by 3 foot chart, and I lived with it. I never went without it. At nighttime, I'd be in our crew quarters or in our guide cabin studying charts, because you sit and look, and there's inside turns. Geez, look at, here's a little, it's 55 feet of water, and all of a sudden it says 38.
And now we've got all that information on that
Right.
tiny little wafer of a chip.
And it's right in front of you, and oh boy. So that's great for anybody who wants to go fishing, and you can do this on almost any lake in the country, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, companies like the Lake Master have, great products for, many of the states here in the upper Midwest. I know from my personal experience, the first time I came to Rainy, I fished alone. I mean, I didn't fish with anybody that had any experience here, and it sure gave me the confidence to come out here. I didn't get crazy and reckless, but having that information on my GPS gave me the confidence I needed to come out here and get after these fish, worry a lot less about hazards and more about putting fish in the boat. That's why a guy makes the drive. Billy only takes us to the good spots here. We don't even have the trolling motor down yet. I made my first cast and I'm hooked into a fish. Feels like a walleye. Feels like a real nice walleye. Same general presentation. I think what Billy was going to do was going to throw on a pike bait. Yep. He's not fighting like a pike. Big old walleye. Would you give me a scoop? Yep. Thank you, sir. This is one of those fish that just pounded it. You just don't get that out of those deep fish. These shallow fish like this, it's like every one of them. All right, yes! Oh, there we go. That's a sweet fish. That's one of those gorgeous ones, Billy. Got those real nice belly colors to it. This is the look that I prefer right there. Jig in the mouth. Super fish, Billy. Thanks for putting me on that one. I hope this walleye likes pine tree pollen because it's getting a mouthful. All right, girl. What a super fish.
This just in. Search now over for one suspect found hiding under a brush pile. Suspect was taken into custody and released this afternoon. Officials credit the apprehension to the new Markham underwater camera technology, which found and caught the suspect.
Markham has really taken the lead with their on-screen displays for temperature, depth, and direction, helping you get to the fish quicker.
In other news, a missing walleye was captured today, once again caught red-handed on a Markham camera. Stay tuned for more news from the Markham Underwater Network, where we seek, find, and capture the lake's most wanted.
Another long, cold winter got you down? Plan your next summer vacation with Rainy Lake Houseboats today and watch those winter blues fade away. Experience beautiful Rainy Lake in Voyageurs National Park in northern Minnesota from the deck of one of our spacious houseboats. Recharge while touring the lake or fishing for trophy walleye and smallmouth bass. You can get away from it all without giving up the comforts of home. Call us today at 1-800-554-9188 or visit us online at RainyLakeHouseboats.com.
One of the things I love about fishing here on Rainy Lake is the style of fishing. The walleyes are very often found very shallow, they're very aggressive, and they're willing to strike artificial baits. If you're a live bait fisherman, you can fish them that way too. But this is one of those bodies of water that lends itself to catching fish, fishing jigs and plastics, throwing crankbaits, and I tell you what, it keeps me coming back year after year, and the memories I have from last year's trip, held late May, early June, are still fresh in my memory. I got to fish with Joel Nelson and John Marshall. We were catching huge numbers of walleyes each day, big pike, and the average size of the fish was truly spectacular. That's what you can come to expect here on Rainy Lake.
Got him?
Yep, I do. Boy, he did not hit it very hard. But all that matters is I got the hook in his lip. Walleye.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a shore lunch fish, buddy.
Oh boy, it sure does.
I can call that good eats. Fantastic tasting walleye up here. 16 and a half, perfect keeper, but we're not going to keep him. Back he goes.
Ooh.
Let me know if you need the net, sir.
Nice walleye.
Oh, he's nice dark back on that one.
Yeah, he's a coal black one. Look at him. Look at in the water here. See, they're throwing up those hatches. You know, people don't believe this about walleyes. Springtime, shallow walleyes, they're eating bugs. That's what they do. And he just barfed out a bunch. And they're not mayflies, they're just small larva hatches. There we go.
Now, why do you suppose the color difference, Billy?
This one probably just came in from right around the corner.
Gotcha.
You know, coming in to do his thing here, feeding. And
so when they're dark like that, you figure they're deeper water, a little cooler water.
Yep. But it won't take long. I was going to see if they still have good teeth. I'm not going to stick my hands in to grab any more of those bugs. But he let out quite a bunch of them right there.
There we go. That was the most subtle hit of the day.
It was just.
Yep. But it's a nice fish.
Yep.
Real nice. The way I kind of see it in my mind is he just kind of snuck up behind it and sucked it in like a spaghetti noodle. Just
The sneak attack.
he got it all. All I see is just, oh, did you see that? Look at that.
Look at that.
Big minnow that he just spit up.
It's like a big perch minnow.
Yeah, that's floating to the surface. There it comes. Come on, buddy. Oh, they're strong. He was hungry. If he's going to eat that and my jig. Come here, buddy. There we go. You got the whole face full there. Nothing could be easier, Billy. You bet. What a nice fish. You know, when we're double blessed today, Billy. Good company, good fishing, but great weather too. Absolutely. I mean, this is the middle of May. There's what we're fishing. It's just that real thin profile, plastic. You're able to swim them, or like Billy's doing, giving them a real darting action just by manipulating that jig with just real soft twitches of the rod tip.
Nice and healthy.
Yeah. Hey. That's in there so neat, I think I'm gonna need a pliers. And we get such a variety of colors, Billy. I mean, some of them are slate gray. And then we get these fish that are just gorgeous. That real classic, you know, gold, almost a yellow look to them. Back you go, sweetheart. Luckiest walleye in Rainy Lake.
You know, that fish regurgitated what he'd been eating.
Yeah.
Right at the boat. That bait that he regurgitated was somewhat digested. It's still floating back here. I'm going to take a look at it, but it makes you ask the question, are these dark fish that we're catching, have they been out on the edge of the break line feeding, and they're coming in here using the warm water? You know, their metabolism comes in here and it ramps right up. I guess after 45 years, you still ask yourself these questions every day. I guess it's what makes it interesting. Almost the exact same spot. Only a little bigger fish.
We won't need to measure that one to find out if he's too big.
No.
We're gonna know he is.
That one inhaled it.
Now that's what we want to see.
Yeah. That he's got it down way into the roof in his mouth. Yeah, he helped that one right down there.
Hello, I'm Dave Markworth. I'd like to introduce you to the Skeeter Boat Center in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. At the Skeeter Boat Center, we carry the Midwest's largest selection of Skeeter fishing boats, all at prices you can afford. And we offer test drives on most models in stock. Our highly trained staff will provide you the personalized service that you deserve. So check us out at SkeeterBoatCenter.com, where our goal is to help you have fun fishing.
That's the walleye kind. What Billy's doing is just targeting these areas, these shallow rocky shorelines that have the most wind and the warmest water.
Is that a pretty walleye or what?
It definitely is. There we go. That's one of those shallow walleyes, all orange almost on their bellies. Come here, buddy. That one's just actually a little bit too big for shore lunch. You know, anything smaller than 17 can be kept, but a great fish caught in using one of my favorite methods, which is just real thin profile plastics on light jig heads. Really nothing more simple or basic for the walleye fisherman. Cast towards the shoreline rocks, slow swimming retrieve. The best part is when the fish hit it, they really hit it good.
Here in the weeds, you know, if you take a 19-inch fish out of these weed areas versus a 19-inch main lake fish on the reefs, they generally weigh about half a pound more.
And this is where you get your real big walleyes, your heavy walleyes.
And you know, other baits will work at spry. You'll be pulling through those cabbage beds, you know, a big spinner bait. I don't know why those walleyes like a big white willow leaf spinner bait in the cabbage lines, and all mine over 10 pounds have come fishing out of the weeds.
No kidding.
Yeah, and not always fishing walleyes.
Well, I think that appeals to a lot of different people. Some people find some of the more classic presentations slow. You don't have to fish that way here on Rainy Lake. You can be aggressive, you can fish more like a bass fisherman or a pike fisherman and, you know, score big. Case in point, Billy was telling me when we were setting this trip up that his two biggest walleyes ever, both over 12 pounds, came on musky baits around cabbage. That's definitely another way to do it.
Ah, there's a fish.
Yeah! The right kind? Yes, it is. Well, I'm gonna cast over there too then. Was he right up on shore? Or?
Right parallel off of that point. Well, he's all leopard spotted, so he's been
there for a while.
Mm-hmm. See the spots on the back?
Yep. He's close to that eating size.
Bit at one time too.
Is he a lucky fish?
He's like 17 and a 16th.
Oh, really? Saved by the 16th. That's another one, Billy.
All right.
It feels like it's been, you know, that same awesome size class that we've had all day long. You know what I want to tell you? I don't care if you're a smallmouth bass fisherman, walleye fisherman, pike fisherman, even a crappie fisherman. These early season trips with Rainy Lake Houseboats, they're just a blast. Here we go.
A little scoop job, maybe?
Yep. The fish are shallow, they're aggressive. And the one thing I can guarantee you, if you make it to Rainy Lake, you're going to have a good time. I don't care what your interests are, there's something here for everyone. What do you say, Billy? It's about 5 o'clock. Should we call it a day?
I'm not going to let you have the whole day off yet.
You got something else in mind for me?
I want to stop on the way home and see if we can't do any crappie things.
I will not turn that offer down.
You know, who knows? Maybe we can have a little feed.
Well, I'll let this go. We'll call this our last walleye victim of the day. We're not going to keep him, but I guess I got the better part of him. The hit, the tussle, the fight. Regardless of how the crappies turn out, I want to thank you. It's been a pleasure. For everybody out there, you know, if you're looking to plan that summer vacation, give Rainy Lake Houseboats a real serious look. They've got a great package deal. Everyone in the family is going to have a great time. And of course, you've had a chance to meet Billy now. You know you're going to be well taken care of. So from Billy and I, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
If you enjoyed today's show, let our sponsors know.